I think that's all the plug-in I have to do here at the beginning. You might notice we've made a little bit of a change here for Beyond the Tomb. We had been playing in person around a table, but we're moving into a different portion of this campaign where I think some visual aids are really important for our group, and we want to try out Fantasy Grounds, which is something we haven't really done to its... We did it a little bit when we were still playing Tomb of Annihilation, but now we're going to be trying to use it to its full potential in terms of organizing these battles and seeing what it can automate for us. And so it'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but
and I can't cheat anymore. Damn it.
Yeah, actually, it was fun to audit all of your character sheets because I realized. I think in most instances it was actually hindering the group. There were some things that were wrong about the sheets. So now I can have full transparency. I can see everything that you guys have, and there's a lot of cool things about using Fantasy Grounds. One of the things I like is the automatic encumbrance tabulation. It just automatically tells you how much weight you're carrying. Makes it a lot easier to track your spell slots and things like that too, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how we feel about it after doing this for one session. So, well, basically, our party has come to Yggdrasil, the World Tree. What brought them here was they were searching. They had lost the Ring of Winter and had initially come here because they were looking to recover it, and they have done so. And now they are turning their attention to something very sinister that is happening here. They had kind of learned that there was some kind of corruption, some kind of infection that was afflicting the tree. And so they had, in the last episode, well, you defended Crux, a small village that was situated on a limb of the World Tree, from one of its residents. A druid named Marlis had fallen. She had been a worshiper of the World Tree, and something had corrupted even her in her mind and gained influence over her. And she had basically lit up that town, and it was in full blaze when you had returned there initially, and you had defeated her and helped her come back to her senses. Veritas Mauve, who is the leader of Crux, he informed you that this influence over Marlis, one of the things that she had done while she was possessed by this corruptive influence was that she had freed a drow vampire who was like a personal prisoner of his. I think he told you the story about how this man, whose name is Kestad, had some years back come to Crux and had murdered a child, a Githzerai child that he was kind of fostering, an orphan. And he never killed him. I think he told you that it seemed like Kestad almost wanted to die. Like it was almost like suicide by cop that he did this thing. But Veritas saw it as he didn't want to give in to what he wanted, and so he kept him here as a prisoner to kind of live and suffer in his immortality as a vampire. But for whatever reason, whatever this influence over Marlis was, wanted him. And so we really don't know what happened to Kestad. You might maybe have a sense that in that dining room where you did battle with Marlis, there was this big painting that hung over the grand dining table, and that serves as a portal to some other material plane. So it is likely that Kestad went through there, but that wasn't really the matter at hand. The matter at hand is the corruption that is here on Yggdrasil that gained control over Marlis, and it seems that it could spread and take over the minds of others. you learned about the squirrel-like humanoid race of people called the Ratatosk, and they were kind of your lead. The last thing that Marlis remembered prior to falling into this trance of hers was being with Glitter Eye, the leader of the Ratatosk. And so you went to meet with Glitter Eye, and with the aid of some giant stag beetles that you had gotten from Hannah, the kind of the stable master of Crux, and you kind of flew up into the higher reaches of the tree, and you met with Glitter Eye, and he seemed like kind of like a mad patriarch a bit. He was kind of sending his people into this like suicide death march to leap off of the tree after you almost saw him. He was almost about to like light one of them. They were dousing each other on with oil, and I think Reggie like intervened to stop that, and you kind of got him to come to his senses a bit, and he said he was willing to give you an opportunity to see if you could. It was something about the tree was driving them mad, and so you said you were going to go take care of it. He knew something about maybe where its origins were. So Glitter Eye took Dino and Reggie kind of up through kind of almost like an internal catacomb of tunnels that led up through the trunk of Yggdrasil. And Izad and Klaus, you hung back with the stag beetles, I believe. Yep. And the Ratatosk brought you Reggie and Dino up into this, and you found like an outlet that went out onto this tree limb that was overlooking a larger tree branch below. And the Ratatosk were telling you down there, through this mist that you couldn't quite see through, a phenomenon that you had experienced once before in the Githyanki stronghold where you had recovered the ring from. But you had heard this voice speaking in abyssal, kind of commanding orders out from a dark master, saying that basically the four of you are on the radar of whatever this big bad evil thing is that's out there. You don't really know its identity, but it was commanding this little devil was commanding these spirits to go to Crux and kill the people that you made relationships with, because one of the things you know about these spirits is that it seems that the things that they kill, they can assume their forms and almost have this kind of doppelganger kind of ability to assume the identities of those that they kill. These spirits started dispersing right away, and Reggie recognized that this could not happen if these things left. You had to make a split-second decision. So you used the Ring of Winter to create this kind of ice sculpture of a dragon, and you and Dino hopped in and went down. And you made your entrance, and that was enough for all these spirits gathered back together. They were about to leave, and then they swooped right back in, and they kind of started to coalesce into one singular gigantic shadowy form, which I can share the image of what that thing looks like. If anyone out there in the audience follows me on Twitter, I posted a picture of what this thing looks like. Where are we?
People still tweeting? Is that still cool?
That's still cool, yeah.
Is it?
I hope so.
I don't know. I tried it a couple of years back. I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool, but nobody I knew was on there, so maybe I'll have to get on now.
So y'all see this image of this hulking, massive thing. It's just as the spirits kind of coalesce, you see it gain more of a physical. You can see kind of like muscular tissue draped over the skeleton that forms, and there's just like this wispy aura about it, and it's quite terrifying. As you have to look up, it's probably a good 30 feet tall, and it's just you and Dino and your ice structure dragon there, and you can see the little devil thing flying in the background, kind of pointing and instructing it to kill them, and it would be time to roll initiative, and that's something that now we can do pretty quickly.
Sweet.
Roll all initiatives. All right. Oh, that's not good. Nightwalker is up first.
That thing is terrifying.
Let me just cycle through. Okay, so
Where do I roll initiative, or did
you don't have to. I already did it. Yep.
Oh.
One click.
Oh,
One click. So this massive thing that is standing before you, it looks down upon you, and what will it do? It points at Reggie, and it's going to make you do a wisdom saving throw, which
Okay.
you succeed.
Yeah.
So you'll take half of this damage.
Whew.
Uh,
So 15, 16.
yeah, that didn't quite work. But yeah, so you take half of that damage as this thing points its finger, just this shadowy ray of energy blasts at your chest, and you kind of like use your shield maybe to like block a bit of it, but it kind of pours over the shield and hits you. And luckily, oh, I see. You are immune to fear, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So nothing else happens then.
Okay.
It then begins to march forward.
Hmm.
And as it stands right before you, its gigantic shadowy claw kind of comes down, swooping almost like a wrecking crane, to try to block or try to strike you.
Hmm.
And it's at disadvantage because you have your protection from good and evil kind of permanently on you, but it hits you. It deals 29 points of damage.
Now, is that automatically happening, or is that something you need me to...
Yeah, it's automatically happening.
Okay, cool.
And you make the con save for that. And then is Klaus's turn. So Klaus, you're on the back of the stag beetle, and you just... I'm going to kind of retcon something, because you tried to use a message spell, and you're just too far away for it to have like clear communication with Reggie, but what we're going to say is it's almost like maybe you weren't quite near the cell tower or something. You had like a staticky kind of conversation with him. You could tell he's in trouble. And you knew that he had went up. So you're trying to fly up. And what's going to be necessary is you got to take control of the stag beetle. So in order to enter into the combat, you need to make an animal handling check. A DC 15 animal handling check. And so you roll a 12, and you got kind of moderate control over it, but it's just you're trying to figure out how. It's not like riding a horse; it's a little bit of a foreign concept, and so you're making some traction upward, but you're not quite there yet.
Okay.
And then
I like this, by the way, being able to just drag this stuff over to the chat and like.
It makes it a lot easier.
Like no math, guys. You know me and math. Not my thing.
You and math have an interesting relationship. Yeah.
It comes and goes.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Yeah. It's complicated. Close and math.
So, Dino, it becomes your turn.
Okay, what I would like to do is cast Chain Lightning on him. How do I do that now?
So, Chain Lightning, what you can do is open up your sheet and go to your...
I got it open.
Okay, so you got your, the Chain Lightning spell out. Oh, it doesn't have... Oh, I see. So, do you see the little magnifying glass next to the spell on your list?
Yes.
Click that, and it'll drop down. What you'll want to do... Let's see. It hits one target and 3 bolts. Leap from that target to as many as 3 other targets within 30 feet. So unfortunately, that method is out of the range for a bolt, but you can hit the Nightwalker. The method, the devil.
Oh. Okay.
So you'll get this 1 bolt on the Nightwalker. So what you'll do is drag where you see where it says save Dex DC 18.
Yep.
You'll click and drag that onto the Nightwalker. So the Nightwalker makes his save. That's okay. He still takes half damage. So you see where the 10d8 lightning damage is? Click and drag that and drop that onto the Nightwalker.
Did I drop that in the wrong place? Did I do that wrong?
It doesn't. I didn't see anything happen. Okay.
Did that work like that?
No. Did you drop it on the token of the Nightwalker? It's okay.
I did it first.
I can manually put the damage on him. So he'll take 24 because he saved. And actually, he only takes 12 because he is resistant to lightning damage.
Great.
So, any other actions from you, Dino?
Now, did that already automatically record that I did that spell?
No, you have to. You can go into your character tab and click the spell slot that you used. Do you see that?
Okay,
if you go to your actions tab, there's a heading there that says spell slots, and there's little circles for each of your spell slots. You can click the one that you used.
Okay, I'd like to give Reggie a bardic inspiration as well.
Okay.
Cool.
And so with this, you can actually, where your bardic inspiration thing is, if you want to let Reggie know what that does, you can click it, click the little radial thing and drag it to the chat. I just did it for you. But now, Reggie, you can click on that. You can see what... Oh, that's not quite what I wanted.
Where is that located? I can't see where bardic inspiration is located.
On your actions tab, you've got your bardic inspiration in there. At least the... yeah, it doesn't have the description the way that I wanted it. But your tracking is there.
So
maybe try that one. Yeah, there. That one's got the description.
That one worked. Yeah. So what was different
right.
between those two?
I don't know. One just wasn't dragging the info.
Just didn't load. Okay, cool.
All right. So Dino, you're all set. Then it is Reggie's turn. Actually, there's something I forgot to do on Dino's turn. At the beginning of your turn, Dino, you can feel in the presence of this gigantic being, almost like it's siphoning your life force right from you. You need to make a con save, which you fail. And you take 14 points of necrotic damage. And then it's Reggie's turn. Reggie, you have to do the same thing. The same kind of aura is just like drawing. You can see the wisps of energy kind of clawing out and reaching out for you.
Wait, did his lightning chain to that white wormling?
No,
No,
the
the
wormling is not an enemy.
Oh,
Oh,
hey.
oh, Lord.
That's Reggie's ice creature that he conjured from the Ring of Winter.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Let's see. Okay, so on the con save, Reggie fails.
Ooh.
And you take 17 points of necrotic damage.
Okay. Knowing that we're waiting for the dudes to show up on those beetles, I think I am going to attempt to banish this guy.
Okay.
To buy us a minute before they get here.
That's a good call, because if he's not from this plane, he'll be permanently banished if you maintain your concentration.
Wonderful.
So what you'll do is, let's see here, Reggie's sheet, actions.
So that's one, yeah, yep. And that's one I just added. So
okay.
no details in there on it yet.
Wisdom saving throw from me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or no, charisma. I'm sorry, it's charisma.
Ooh, even better then. He's gonna fail. He rolls a 5.
Awesome.
He's got his bardic inspiration.
That'll help me on my rolls. Yeah.
So you see the thing, you cast your banishment spell, and the whole form just kind of like blinks out. And there's like a popping sound, and you can see like the terror in the little Mephit's eyes.
Excellent. And then I'm going to, in a dramatic fashion, draw my sword and like point it at the Mephit and tell him, "You're next." It is as scary as voice as I can.
He is looking quite fretful at that, and without this gigantic being obscuring your view, you can see that the Mephit is fluttering around this strange cylindrical little... It's probably like maybe 4 feet high, maybe 2 feet, 2.5 feet in diameter. It's like this crystalline tube, and it's kind of in this dark iron chassis. It seems like it's almost got like little feet or claws at its base that are like dug in to the wood of the limb that you're on. And you can kind of see there's some kind of weird like bluish energy that's irradiating from within this cylindrical tube. All right. Your crystalline figure there is just staying put. It looks like it just kind of moves like right up next to you, Reggie.
Yeah.
Azad, you can give me an animal handling check. You're also on one of these stag beetles. All right. So Azad, you make your way. Well, we'll put you like right here, and you're on the back of your stag beetle, and you're flying up, and you're on this limb, and you can see. We'll say you're like 30 feet above the limb proper. where Reggie and Dino are, they're like in this like scar on the tree, and that dips down a further, I think it was 30 feet. But from your perspective, like you can see them down there.
Okay. Is that all I get to do?
Yeah, that'll be your turn is getting up there. The little dust mephit starts to fly kind of away. Gets to about there. And he's racing. So he goes a further 15, 20, 25, 30. So looks like he's gunning it off the tree as he flutters up. All right, Nightwalker's turn, but he can't do anything. Klaus, it is your turn.
Do I need to make another animal handling?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so you also make it.
All right.
And you're, I don't know, you're maybe a little bit a ways from Azad, but you guys were kind of keeping pace with each other. You were just a little bit behind.
Okay.
Dino, it is your turn.
Is that what do you call that big monster? Is he coming back soon?
Reggie's banishment spell lasts a minute.
Okay, I am casting. I'm casting Conjure Celestial. It'll take me a minute to do that, though.
Conjure Celestial. Oh, it takes you a minute to cast that?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Reggie.
All right. So I want to maintain concentration, but I want to hop on this dragon, this wormling, and fly after that mephit. If I can do that while still concentrating.
Sure. Why don't you give me an animal handling check?
Sure.
Okay. You are able. You get on top of the thing, and your turn will essentially end. But the next thing that's up is the wormling.
Okay.
Why don't you position your token where you'd like to go? The wormling has a flying speed of 60.
Okay.
So, yeah, just move your token where you'd like to go.
Gotcha. So 60. Doing these squares right. That about 60?
These are 5-foot squares, so that's probably only 30.
Okay.
Like right here would be 30.
Does that spell that I'm casting, is it require me to do anything, or?
Oh,
Because it.
I don't know your spell. If you're saying it has a casting time of 1 minute, you're essentially your actions on your turn is you casting your spell.
But it didn't seem like it has any button to cast it for some reason either. I don't know.
There's nothing to be done at this point. Your turn is just you casting that spell.
Yeah, but according to the spell, the DM is I don't know, has the stats or something on the Celestials or something. Yeah,
but I mean, there's nothing to be done right now. It's going to take a minute for your spell to cast, so nothing's happening right now. You're sitting there and you're signing and you're incanting.
Yeah.
10 rounds, 10 turns,
but,
and then your Celestial will show up.
I'm not sure what you're.
Well, I was saying that I don't know if if it does anything because there's no button here to push.
Well, there's no effect. There's nothing to just you can mark off your spell, but there's nothing to happen in the game right now, so there's no button to push.
All right.
So. All right, so Reggie, on the Wormling's turn, it flies you over such that you're right there within striking distance of it.
Awesome.
Azad.
So do I have control of this beetle, or am I still flying, or what? Can I move it? Can it move like 30 feet this way, and then can I shoot at the thing?
Let's see. Yeah, you can basically direct it to go. It's got a fly speed of 60.
Oh, okay, so 30, 40, 45, 55, 60. And then I will, from its back, actually, now am I pretty much level with the branch itself?
You could be.
If I do my shoot and teleport thing, will I fall a big distance, or would I be low enough to the ground that it would be reasonable for me to teleport?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna teleport off of the beetle to here and shoot. I gotta find my shooting. Alright. Alright, does a 29 hit the thing?
Yep. You remember, you can always just drag the thing onto the token and it'll...
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to... Okay.
It'll hit, though.
And then
if you drag the damage there onto the Mephit, you hit it, and it kind of... one hit kind of thing, just like a dead fly. It's just kind of like falling into space. Because,
nice.
Because of the way that this tree interacts with the astral plane, it's just going to be deposited there as kind of space junk.
Nice. Did this thing just auto-increment my ammo for me, too? When I shot it?
Could be.
Might have.
Yeah, looks like it. Or at least there's a number of check marks there where your ammo
I had 10 check marks before from my used up ammo. So
oh, okay.
I had some stuff on my sheet from the last session of things I had used. So yeah, cool. I shot it. That's all I want to do then.
All right. So then the Nightwalker's second turn since the banishment spell, and then it is Klaus's turn.
Sweet. I think I lost my token here on the map, but I'm assuming I was pretty close to...
You're right down on the southern edge of the limb.
Okay. I'd like to move as far possible to the beast, the smoke creature, whatever you guys are calling him. The white dragon? Or no, that's not it.
There's no enemies that you can see right now.
Oh, there's not? Okay, I stepped away to the bathroom. You guys, already take down the big guy?
He's just temporarily banished.
Okay.
Yeah, he's banished right now.
Oh. Well, in that case, I want to catch up to Azad.
All right. On the
Use,
stag beetle, you can move 60 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I do not have... Let me see if I can drop my guy. No, I can't get him on there. Can you see my token?
Yes.
Hmm.
But maybe if I move you to...
Yeah. It'll refresh on my end if you move it.
Do you see him over by Azad? Okay.
Yeah, he's coming onto the screen now. All right.
Yeah, sometimes you'll probably have to use the little radial thing to navigate around the map, because it's going to be bigger than...
Oh, yeah, I'm trying that right now. Yeah, I couldn't do it with the scroll wheel, but if I grab it... Okay, got it.
All right. So you fly over there. Azad, just so you understand, he's no longer on his beetle. He had teleported down onto the bark of the tree limb. So he's standing there. His beetle's just kind of like up a few feet, hovering.
Can I park my beetle?
Sure. So the two of you are down on the tree limb now, standing.
Rather.
All right, Dino, you're continuing to summon your celestial.
Yes. Can I move without affecting my casting?
I'm gonna say no unless you want to make a check.
Then I'll stay put.
All right, Reggie, it is your turn.
All right, so you said the Mephit kind of landed on a branch?
No, the Mephit is free falling into the astral plane.
Gotcha. Then I am going to turn around, and I'm going to head towards that, like, pillar thing you had described he was standing next to before he bolted off.
All right, so with your 60 feet...
And I apologize, the grid's not showing up for me on Fantasy Ground, so I didn't figure out what's going on. That's fine. It's probably just a user setting.
If you right click on the map, do you have on the radial a thing called layers?
Filters, close window, maximus, resize, and draw. No, I do not have layers. That's okay. We'll worry about it later.
Do all of the rest of you have a grid that you can see?
Yeah. Click on maps on your right column there if you have that at least.
It's light, but I can see the grid. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll worry about it later. I'm
Okay.
cool with it.
Okay. Basically, you can get over there, but the movement happens on the ice creature's turn. So,
Okay.
then you move to Azad. It is your turn.
So what did we miss? I mean, what we miss in vodka, etc.
All right, so you are inquiring about what is going on here. And Nightwalker, it's his third turn since being banished. Klaus, it is your turn.
Reggie. I'm gonna move to Reggie. Each one of those blocks is how many?
5 feet.
Oh. But I can't do that right now?
You can.
I can.
You have an actual animal. It's a little bit different between you and what's going on with Reggie. You're already mounted and you're good to go. You can move.
Okay.
If you want to move down to Reggie, you got more than enough speed to do so.
Yeah, I'm gonna move down there and
survey
what's going on with him.
Yeah, I'll re-describe this. You weren't here when what he's looking at. On the tree limb, you guys are now in this big scar, this 30 feet deep scar, and you're at the base of it. And what Reggie is basically looking at is this. What did I say? 4 feet tall, 2.5 feet wide, cylindrical object. That looks very familiar to you. It looks like almost like a miniature soulmonger.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see spirit energy like churning inside the crystal tube. And at the base of its chassis, it's just like this wrought iron kind of very industrial looking kind of thing that's capped it off, and at its base there's like these claws, these fanged claws that dig right into the wood bark of the tree. It looks like it's really rooted in real deep.
Okay. And is Reggie staring at it under his own choosing, or is he?
Yeah, it looks like he's basically checking it out, trying to figure out what it is.
Okay. And I'll just say, hey, Reggie, because I think we're still in combat, right?
Yeah, technically we're counting down the rounds until this thing comes back, and we've got Cliff's summon celestial spell. Alright, so Dino, you continue to cast your spell. This is the third round that you've been focused on that. Reggie.
Alright, so I'm going to respond to Klaus and say, hey, and that I think this looks very similar to something we saw that kind of captured these souls, and I will posit to Klaus if he remembers what we did with the other one. If we attacked it and broke it open, or if there was something that we needed to unplug.
I think we needed to separate the umbilical cord first. Didn't we do something that took its life? Well, we killed the baby. I think that in
Well, there's no baby here.
Yeah, but
you also cracked open the cylinder to let the spirits out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Klaus attacked it with his axe and was hitting it, and there was also a blade barrier spell that was razoring.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I remember that one. Okay, cool.
Good memories.
Azad, it is your turn.
I will say, oh, very interesting. Is there anything else we should be concerned about here, or are we good to just putz with this thing? And then that'll be it. I'm not going to move or anything.
All right. Nightwalker, it's been its 4th turn since being banished. Klaus, it is your turn.
Definitely going to try to start to destroy that thing. I just want to think about how I want to do it first. Unless Reggie, you would object.
Not even in the slightest.
Okay. I think I'll start out with my greater silver sword.
All right, give me an attack roll.
Okay. Do you need me to like point out what part of it I'm hitting, or you just?
Yeah, you could describe that as a part of your swing.
Okay. I'm going for the glass part or whatever.
Like
type
right
material that
at the center of the tube.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right for its heart, I guess.
All right, roll me some damage as your sword comes swinging in to cleave at the crystal tube. You can see this big gash kind of starts to crack, and you can kind of see this wispy like energy kind of start to seep out.
Okay. I feel a little nervous about this, Reggie. What if this stuff can like hurt us? We let it all out.
Do it again.
Okay.
All right, roll me damage again. All right. You hit that, you swing, and it cracks open. You can see shards just kind of fly about. And all this energy kind of pulses out. Why don't... could I get Reggie and Klaus to give me Constitution saving throws?
Ouch.
Okay. Klaus, you take 14 points of necrotic damage. And Reggie, you take 7.
And a concentration check.
And a concentration check from Reggie. So basically, just do a con save.
Azad, whose team are you on?
I was on team not break the thing that or do anything that would prevent your banish spell from continuing, but apparently you weren't.
So I'm sorry, Alex. What kind of check?
It's just a con save.
Con check. Okay.
Okay, you maintain concentration. Barely, but you do it.
Did you put on that the damage to me, or do you need me to do that?
I did it.
Oh, you did.
And you feel like all this energy kind of like wisping away out of the thing. But one of them, one little piece of energy kind of coalesces into one of those spirit things that you'd seen a number of times before. And it's going to drop right by Klaus.
Reggie, I told you that this might have been a bad idea.
Usually
I'm all for bad ideas.
You still have an attack.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use that.
Let's see. Armor class. Yeah, that'll hit. So you can, just so you know, you can drag those things right onto your target when there's a token or something on there, because then it'll apply automatically. But so just so you know, Klaus, because it's automatically doing it for you, but because you're the great weapon fighter now, I changed one of his features because he was 2-weapon fighting, but that didn't make sense because he had been using a great weapon the entire time. You can see that it actually re-rolled automatically your 1s and 2s.
Oh yeah.
So
that's rad.
The 1 and 4 roll,
or
is it only on attacks it re-rolls?
Well, you ended up with a 5 and a 6, but it automatically, when it first went, there must have been some 1s or there was a 2 in there, I guess. You can see in the code, it says it re-rolled a 2.
That's awesome.
So I'm just pointing that out so you know that your abilities are actually working.
So if I right now when I roll in the little chat area, it's not deducting the damage automatically.
Not automatically. It has to be dropped on the creature.
Okay.
But I already did it. I took care of it.
Okay.
All right. So now it is the Alip's turn. And it lets out a howl that will require some saving throws from basically everyone except for Dino. And I will drop those on. Reggie fails. Klaus fails.
Oh.
And Azad succeeds. Let's see. One thing that is not automatically coded in there is the bonus to saving throws that would be coming off of Reggie. What is that bonus?
Can you say that again? You cut out there for a second.
You have some kind of an aura of protection against saving throws, and that's not something
gotcha.
that is possible to be coded in. So
just +1 for anyone within 10 feet of you, right?
Correct, and a +1 for me on all my saves. Yeah.
Okay. That should be automatically
Cool.
incorporated. But the aura thing, there's just no way that I can figure out how to do that. So this won't matter. Everyone will fail,
Okay.
except for Aza.
I want to use Indomitable.
Okay. Is that you get another chance at the saving throw then?
Yeah, I believe that's what that's for.
Okay, you will succeed.
Can I use my
Nice.
bardic inspiration and add to the save?
I think so. That Dino, can you confirm that?
I play a bard. I can convert it for
Okay.
for him.
So roll me a d6.
Okay.
Okay, you will save then as well.
Whew.
a D6?
Never mind, it's already been dealt with.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
good.
sure your bardic inspiration die is higher, but it won't matter in this case.
yeah, it's a D10.
So Klaus, you used Indomitable.
Yeah, and I hit the little.
Oh, you did. Okay. That's what I was going to point out. You got it.
Do I have 3 of those or 2?
Yeah.
I thought I only had 2.
I think you have 3 now. I could be
I don't
wrong.
know. I mean, I'll take 3. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll this damage once. Okay, not that. You all take 3 points of psychic damage. And
I'm out of
there's-
range, though, aren't I?
Yeah, you're fine. And it's just babbling and howling, but none of you take the stun. You remembered that piece of it sucks. Reggie, another con save for your concentration. All right. You maintain concentration on the banishment. Dino, you continue to cast your Summon Celestial.
Yes.
Reggie, it is your turn.
All right. I would like to hack at our Ayla boy here. So I'm gonna hack with my Holy Avenger Greatsword. Oops, that was the wrong thing. I apologize.
Now, I just want to point something out.
Yeah.
I guess I never pointed this out. I always heard you call it a great sword. It's not a great sword, it's a long sword.
Oh,
It's a one-handed sword, and you're
Gotcha.
using a shield in your other hand.
I apologize.
It's okay. I noticed it when I was inputting the stuff in.
Okay, my Holy Avenger longsword I'd like to use. So I'm gonna swing on him.
All right, it's a hit, so you can drag the damage onto the Allop.
Damage. Partially resisted. Alright, so then I'm gonna hack a second time.
I'm not sure why he would have resisted. Yeah, okay, it's a hit.
And damage.
Okay, that would have been enough to put him down, actually.
Cool.
I don't get to attack anything.
Azad's turn.
There's nothing to attack. Save some for me next time, guys.
Well, just
Yeah.
wait a little bit,
Okay.
you'll have something.
What? What do you mean? Wait a little bit, I'll have something. What you talking about?
That banished creature may be
What
coming
banished
back.
creature?
Dino, you can't be talking. You're casting.
Yes.
Is there some banished creature you have ignored to tell me about?
Klaus, it is your turn. So we're at the 50% mark right here for the banishment.
Where the token for the white dragon wormling is that where he disappeared?
No. And of course, Klaus would have no idea. because Klaus didn't see it get banished.
Oh. Well, I just heard those guys talking. What's going on, guys? Fill me in on you're all doing here.
Dino continues.
Reggie has to tell you.
Reggie.
Reggie, is your turn.
Well, I was able to banish this thing, so hopefully he's not coming back. And then that Mephit flew away, and Azad shot him out of the sky, so that was rad. And then you and I just kind of looked at this Soulmonger thing, and here we are. So this is all I got. We really got to just kind of make sure this thing doesn't come back, or if it does, we got to be ready.
Azad's turn.
All right, I'll start readying an action and say, where did it disappear from? And I'll ready an action to attack in case it comes back.
All right. 6th round of Nightwalker being banished. Klaus, it is your turn.
I'm gonna tell the guys we should move if we can.
And then do you move?
Guys.
Any,
Are you moving?
Any other?
Is there a delay on this?
No, we're just waiting to see if you move.
Because you're in initiative, so like your turn is just I'm giving you some freedom to converse, but
I guess yeah, the whole being in like limbo with not fighting something and fighting something is just making Klaus so confused. I'm gonna start walking down to the east here.
Okay.
These other guys follow, I guess. I follow, but I see Dino's down there. He'd be cool to catch up with him.
Okay, so you dash to there. Dino is your 6th turn, casting your spell. Reggie, or 6th round.
Yeah, I'll come back with Klaus and just kind of chill back to see what might. Actually, no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chill where I'm at and just investigate the rest of like the remnants of the Soulmonger, this mini Soulmonger, as I guess I interpret it as, see if there's anything notable.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You see this kind of motif on the legs of the iron fangs or claws. I guess they were claws that dig into the earth, and so there's like 4 of them on the corners of the device, and they look like that.
Great.
All right. Azad, continue to ready.
Yep.
All right. Klaus.
I'm gonna move a little bit further and then ready myself with my sword.
All right. Dino's casting. Reggie.
So, yeah, I'm gonna kind of. Where's circle? I'm gonna like see if there's anything I can do to, like get my like when you're trying to get your dog excited, like you're gonna go play frisbee with him. Like I want this dragon like stoked for if and when this Nightwalker comes back, that he's just ready to shred into him.
All right. Give me a animal handling check.
Okay.
All right. So you're giving it a pep talk. You're trying to rev it up, and you're maybe even trying to. It doesn't have any fur or anything to rustle. It's just cold and very frigid. But the thing, it's pretty emotionless, but it does start to move in this direction. It kind of gets up and kind of glides over this big icicle-like creature. And it's like right there, and you can see it kind of like scanning the area where it last saw the Nightwalker.
Right on.
Azad. Readying.
Yep, same thing.
All right. Round 8. Klaus.
Looking at something here. I'm gonna continue to be in the ready position.
All right.
Tightening my boots.
Yeah, tightening all of the things, all the straps, getting the grip ready. Let's see. Dino's casting. Reggie.
Okay, so yeah, I'll probably. Is there enough for me to like just kind of run over here and also be ready with the guys?
You could dash over there.
Cool.
Azad is readying. Is there anything that anyone wants to do that's different than
the one thing that I potentially need to do that is not necessarily just in the game? My battery or my laptop's at 6%, and I don't have a charger, but I'm signed into Discord on my iPad, so I might need to just quick switch the device I'm on.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick 2-minute break then, or whatever it'll take till we got Joe back.
It'll be super duper quick.
Super duper. Enough time for a cigarette?
Yeah, let's take just a quick. Oh, is that all you needed to do, Joe?
What?
Does that can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Does that screw with your camera stuff for your layout?
I don't think so. Should
Okay.
be good. Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
So, anything different than anyone's doing with their turn? Otherwise, I'll skip right to its unbanishment.
Go for it.
Boy.
Which, if I gotta grab a book here quick. So, banishment. I think it would pop back at the end of Reggie's 10th turn. At least that's how I'm going to interpret that. So he pops back. I think, Azad, you have a readied action that you'd be able to take, as well as the Ice Dragon. We'll start with Azad's readied shot.
Okay, I hit it. Now
All
I
right.
can damage it.
Yes.
7 damages.
All right. And then the Ice Dragon will miss. And then it becomes the Ice Dragon's proper turn. That was just its readied action. So it attempts to take a bite at the Nightwalker and misses. Oh, it also has to endure the damage of the annihilating aura. It fails its saving throw and takes some heavy damage. You can see the corrupting influence, this aura around the Nightwalker, is even affecting that's the ice creatures just kind of like melting like before your eyes at a rapid rate. And then it is Azad's turn.
All right. Well, I will do my little. Do I have to make a save or anything?
You do, actually. 1 second, I'll pop that on. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. I had hit some lag.
It's okay.
All right. So, yes, you feel that you're inside its aura, and you feel this necrotic damage. Your skin is just kind of like withering.
Ooh, that sucks. So I will do my teleport then shoot thing to get back a little bit. And then I will shoot him. Does a 17 hit him?
It does.
I don't even have to ask. And then I will add that effect. And that effect is a bonus action, and I will shoot some damage. 15 damage.
So your arrow hits into the form. It's sticking out of this graying black fleshy tissue that stretches over its enormous body.
Okay, and then I will shoot it again. And teleport again.
All right, another arrow goes slinging into its flesh. Yeah, you can kind of see it kind of reacting, twitching a little bit, but it's got its attention focused on the 3 in the scar. All right, now it's the Nightwalker's turn. He steps forward and with his left hand points right down at Reggie, who will endure gets a saving throw. And fails. And Reggie takes 25 points of necrotic damage. But luckily, you are immune to fear.
Yes.
All right. And with his right hand, again, just like a wrecking ball, it comes swinging down to try to swat at you. And even at disadvantage, he rolls a 30. Hits you for 28 points of damage. Reggie gets to make a con save. Fails. Alright, so your hit point maximum gets reduced by 28. I don't know exactly how to do that in Fantasy Grounds, but
Means I'm down, right?
Oh, are you down?
Well, if it's, what is it, 173
No,
minus...
you only have 124. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't really want to change your hit point maximum there because that would be like a permanent thing.
Oh, sure.
So 173, 25.
So 145, yeah.
Okay, so you're still up.
Okay.
Because you're at 124 damage out of that total.
Yeah.
All right. Klaus,
Yep.
it is your turn.
Oh, and I'm ready.
That's right.
I'm going to use a action surge in this turn. So, first I want to use the Snylock Snowball Storm.
Okay.
Level 2.
So, if you open up your actions tab and right down by you see the little magnifying glass?
Yep.
If you pop that out, where it says save, Dex DC 14, click and drag that and drop it on the Nightwalker. So he succeeds. He'll take half the damage. You can, where it says 3d6 cold damage, you can click and drag that and drop that on the Nightwalker. And he takes 2 points of cold damage. Because he both made his save and he's resistant to cold damage. So you can tell as these snowballs are pelting him, these frigid chunks of ice, he seems to not really pay much attention to that or react to it.
Yeah, I was trying to pick something that might hurt him more or he wouldn't be resistant to, but I don't know. I don't know. What smoke? Smoke doesn't like what? Not having oxygen? I don't know. No, that's fire. I don't know. All right. Sword attacks then with the action surge.
All right, even a 2 on the die will hit the gigantic, enormous Megazord shadow creature, so you can roll your damage on him. All right, so he takes 12 points of damage. Another hit. 19 points of damage. Another hit. And another... What was it? Another 19?
19 again?
Yeah.
The same dice. That's weird.
So he...
Fantasy ground.
You're just hacking and slashing away at the flesh that it just kind of discharges this black, oily substance that's spraying all over the place from the multiple wounds. And then it is Dino's turn. And at the end of Dino's turn, a Celestial will pop into existence. I've never seen anyone cast this. What's
probably
that?
The Coatl from page 43 is the only challenge rating 4 monster or celestial.
What is it?
I took the liberty of doing the research on this because I knew that you would be busy. So page 43 of the monster manual is the CR4 celestial.
The Coatl.
97 hit points.
Okay. Let me
AC
just
19.
bring this in. How do you spell that?
Couatl.
Oh, got it. All right. Where would you like this to go?
Yeah, just north of the beast there.
All right. Reggie. Oh, wait. I need Klaus and Dino need to make some saves from the Annihilating Aura. First, Klaus.
Can I use Absorb Elements as a reaction to that? Or is that out of the question?
It wouldn't be, but this is not elemental. It's a necrotic. This is like undeath energy.
Okay.
So you fail the saving throw and you take 18 points of necrotic damage. And the same thing happens to Dino, who fails his save and takes 10 points. And then it becomes Reggie's turn, who will fail that save. Takes 15 points of necrotic. But I think you're still up, right? Didn't we determine you were at 145 was your max? Okay. So
Correct.
now it's... So you're feeling that.
Oh my god. I would like to dump my entire lay on hands pool on myself.
All right. How much does that bring you to?
I believe that's 90, but I can't find it.
It'll heal you 90?
Yes.
So you have 49 points of damage.
Okay. And then I believe that's my turn. I won't move anywhere. I'll stay put.
All right. The ice creature must endure the Annihilating Aura and succeeds. So it only takes half the damage. And it is still up. It'll try to take a swing. And it hits the Nightwalker. And is chipping away. You can see it trying voraciously to slash and hack at this mammoth creature. And then it is the Quaddle's turn, who must make the Constitution saving throw immediately upon coming into existence. And it fails. And looks wounded almost immediately after being summoned. Let's see. Oh boy. It immediately flies over to Reggie and drops a Cure Wounds on him. Healing you for 8 points. And then Azad.
Okay, I will shoot it. Ready, set, shoot. Hit. Okay, gotta use my bonus action to add the damages, and then hit it with force damage.
Alright, takes a whopping 25 points damage.
Okay, and then I will shoot it again. I hit it. I will damage it. Another 12.
Alright. Nightwalker's turn. it takes a swing at Reggie. Hits for 23 points of damage. And Reggie has to make a con save and successfully does so. With its left hand, a big swinging strike at Klaus. .24 to hit, and it deals a whopping 32 points of necrotic damage. And Klaus's hit point maximum is reduced by 32. So his new hit point maximum, I believe, would be 88. And then it becomes Klaus's turn, and the corrupting influence of this massive creature is going to be affecting Klaus. He'll fail the save and take 14 points of necrotic damage. And then you can take your turn.
All right. I'm gonna can I use action surge with a second win as well.
I think so.
Because I want to cast a spell, melee, and then heal.
Second wind is just a bonus action.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I'm reading it here. It says regain hit points equal to 1d10 for second wind.
Yeah, so it's just a bonus action. So you have you can do that.
Okay.
And you can do that and attack if you want.
Okay.
But you could do both. I mean, you can use action surge, and you would have two actions, but you still have the bonus action.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cloud of daggers at the beastly smoke man.
All right, Cloud of Daggers, if I remember, there's no saving throw. So you can just drop that 44 damage onto the creature. And so he takes that 8 damage. So that's your action.
Yep. And I'll use my melee action or bonus action, action surge, whatever part of this whole series of events it is.
Okay, so you can use action surge, and then you've got another action.
Oh.
All right, so you take a swing with the great sword, and you hit.
All right. 15.
All right. Another hit. And 14 damage. And you've got one more attack. Another hit. All right.
And then I am going to use my second win.
All right. So if you open up your character sheet, and you go to the actions, and you go to where second wind is, and you hit the little magnifying glass, you can just hit the little button that says heal.
Oh.
And so you regain 16 points.
Ooh.
Okay. Becomes Dino's turn. Dino is within the range of the annihilating aura. Fails. And ends up taking 16 points. Is your celestial spells at a concentration?
Yes.
So you'll make a con save. Ooh. You fail. The celestial disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or when the spell ends. So it is your turn.
I'm casting Bigsby's Hand.
All right. What will you have it do?
I will have it be a clenched fist and strike it.
Okay. All right. Make a melee spell attack. I don't know if you're... Let's see, does the Big B hand have that already programmed in there? It does! Is +9 what it should be?
I believe so.
Okay, so you... Let's see, I got too many windows up here. Okay, you hit. So then you can click and drag the damage from the Big B hand and drop it on the Nightwalker. Okay, he takes 21 points of damage.
Nice.
You can do that again as a bonus action, it looks like, from the description of the spell.
Yeah, it's supposed to last a minute, the hand.
So unless you're using your bonus action for something else, you could do that.
Oh, again, right away?
I guess it does say as a bonus action on your subsequent turns. Okay, so I guess it's on your next turn that you'd be able to do that. Okay.
How big is this aura of evil or damage that we keep getting hit with?
Well, you know that you're in it.
Well, I think I'll just stay put right now.
Okay. Reggie, it is your turn. So the aura... Failure. Take 9 points of necrotic.
Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. That's a lot of 1s and 2s there.
I would like to cast Guardian of Faith.
All right.
Do I just hit this little cast button? Or...
Let's take a look. What is that?
It is a level 4 spell.
Guardian of Faith. Okay. So it looks like... what does it do? Large spectral guardian appears and hovers for the duration in an unoccupied space of your choice. Okay, let me put a little what does it do for you? What is the self part of that?
That I'm not sure what that self part's for. It hangs around until it deals 60 points of damage. So
Okay.
basically, it has a space within 10 feet of the Guardian that if something's in it, it needs to save on a Dex throw, and then it takes 20 on a failed save or 10 on a successful one, and then it goes away once it deals 60 points.
I'm going to throw a token down to represent the Guardian, so can you move that around?
Yep,
So you can place it where you'd like.
I'll put him right there.
So go ahead and drop the Dex save on the Nightwalker right away.
Oh, okay. Let's see, save.
So he succeeds, but he'll take half of, so you can drop the radiant damage on him then.
Drop the what one? Sorry.
It's, what is it, 20 radiant damage? Is there a damage thing there?
So if I do that, oh, that just says 1. Huh.
Okay. Well, I will apply the damage. Surprisingly, he's not vulnerable to it, so he'll just take 10. So I'll add 9 more there.
Okay.
All right.
And then I will also stay put.
All right. The Dragon Wormling takes his turn. And is probably going to eat it from the aura. Yep, that's enough to take out the Wormling. The corrupting influence, the aura just finally like shatters the thing and explodes into a million pieces, dispersing in the center of the crater there.
He will be missed.
Does it make sense that it's Azad's turn? All right.
Okay, I'm going to attack him.
All right, a hit. An arrow hits.
I do my bonus action, extra damage. Hopefully for lots of damage. No, just enough. Just a little bit. Then I shoot him again. And then I weep that it's not dead yet, and that's it.
Oh, the Nightwalker is just continuing to barrage both Azad, or both Klaus and Reggie with his left and right hands. Reggie is hit and takes 26 points of damage. The other swing comes down on Klaus, who endures...
Indomitable.
You can do Indomitable on the save, yeah, but you'll still take this.
Oh, it's not this. Okay, I got you. I was thinking it was this.
But there is a con save associated with this attack.
Okay.
So let's first see. Reggie. Reggie fails. I think this doesn't really affect Reggie, though. Oh, no, it does. This is the... Yeah, so... Reggie...
I'm down, by the way, now, guys. Just in case.
Awesome.
Reggie, your hit point max is reduced by 26.
Oh, boy.
Which, what is that? 119?
Correct. Ugh.
And Klaus makes the con save. And succeeds. Oh yeah, Klaus
You're dead, bro.
I'm dead, bros.
is dead.
Wait, like dead?
Tased me, man.
Like not
That
even just.
the swing, you can just see like it passes right through his body, and you can just see he kind of like goes for his throat, gasping for air, and you just see his skin is like shriveling up, and he almost looks zombified as he drops to the ground.
Oh.
Dino is in the aura, so he needs to make a con save, which he fails. Dino
Sure get a
takes-
lot of fails with this computer rolling.
That really has nothing to do with the computer rolling. It has more to do with how high the DCs are. So Dino takes some damage from the corrupting aura that you're standing in, and then it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use a bonus action with the Bigsby hand to hit him again.
Okay,
Did you maintain your concentration on that?
good call.
I don't know. Am I...
You need to make a con save, your concentration check. You took 15 points of damage, so you need 10. Okay, you got it.
All right, I'll use my bonus action to hit him again with the Bigsby hand. Let's see. Here we go. Well, that was
Yeah, you needed to try to hit first.
okay. Sorry. Getting used to this here.
Well, make the attack roll. I'm sure it will hit.
This guy have like 200
Okay, it would have hit. So,
HP.
oh, he's got more than 200.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through here, reading it.
All right, you gonna make another swing there, Dino? Hey, you gotta hit him first.
I thought I did.
Yeah, but that was for the first. Okay, roll to see if you hit. Okay, so 2 swings with the Bigsby hand is just kind of popping this thing in the face, but it still stands.
Now, that was my bonus
You hit it twice.
action, right?
Use your action and your
Oh.
bonus action.
Oh, I didn't know I could hit it twice with that. I thought I was going to do a different type of attack with it. Oh. All right.
Well, I guess that's true. It doesn't say that you can do that as a... Okay, so I'll take that back. What did you want to do with your action?
I was going to do a fireball.
Okay, so you would drag the save DC onto the creature, and he'll do his dex save. He fails, so now you can drop the damage onto him. Should come as no surprise, he's resistant to this. Alright, So he still stands. He gets hit with the fiery blast overhead, and he just kind of waves through the flames and disperses them. So that he's got clear view of his victims.
So that didn't damage him at all?
Resistance is not immunity.
Okay, so
He was hit by it, but he brushes it off relatively easily.
Okay.
And then it starts Reggie's turn, who's in the annihilating aura. He succeeds his saving throw. And, never mind. Sorry, Reggie. You should not have taken that.
Okay.
It's your turn. You kind of like are focusing your attention to try to channel some kind of energy through your body to resist that death aura.
Yeah.
You don't take any damage this turn.
Okay, good. So should I roll for that guardian? Will he go before me or after me?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the text on the Guardian of the Faith says, any creature hostile to you that moves to a space within 10 feet of the Guardian for the first time on a turn must succeed a Dex saving throw.
So once he's in there, he doesn't have to do it each time?
I don't think so.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I don't have much left, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the ring. And I don't have the write-up in front of me for this spell from the ring, but I'd like to use Flesh to Ice.
Okay. Flesh to Ice.
It's basically Flesh to Stone, which I have in front of me, but it turns into ice instead of stone. It turns to solid ice with the density and durability of stone, according to the write-up on the ring.
So your action is to use that.
Yep. So that uses 3 charges, which I've marked.
He will save because he rolls a 26.
Awesome. Then I...
So he's not affected.
If I could, I'd like to begin praying in my mind to Torb to do something to help us.
All right. Azad.
Oh boy. I'm gonna shoot this thing. Alright. I'm gonna add my damage as a bonus action. Okay, and then I'm gonna shoot him again. I saw the words expired pop up and I was like, oh, did it die? And then I was like, oh no, didn't die.
Hit.
Oh!
How do you want to do this?
Alright, so I've just been sitting back here chucking arrows. And I want it to be just like they've all kind of lined up, and the last one just goes like right through the back of his neck, and he just like vanishes into whatever nothingness he came from.
All of the entire structure of the thing starts to compound on itself and get real tight, and then it just pops as 1,000 voices scream out, and you're all hit with this enervation energy, this necrotic energy that pops out. You don't take any damage, but it's just, you can feel like almost like a chill to your core.
I'm emotional.
Well, we better check on the warrior there, huh?
Poor Klaus.
I mean,
He was a good guy.
Klaus, buddy?
You were shooting arrows the whole time, and then you all of a sudden decide to do that shit.
That was an arrow.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was tuning out again. You got to call your kill though.
He's down on the ground. He couldn't see it.
Death ray.
So you look over to where Klaus is laying, and you instantly know that there's no way of bringing him back. Like his skin is even like kind of shriveled up, and he almost looks like mummified. Like he aged hundreds of years in the span of the minute that this fight took.
I was going to try and get you your hit points back before my celestial died, but
Well, you shouldn't have been standing in the middle of the aura the whole time. If you weren't going to be hitting it with a sword.
If you look back, I was trying to do as much damage as possible in my turns, and I did a lot of damage to him.
You did a really good job. I'm yelling at Cliff.
Oh. Okay.
Because he kept casting concentration spells and then staying in the aura.
Hindsight's 2020, Azot. It's
I wrote it to him in the chat during the fight.
No matter.
yes, I couldn't do it though because I lost my concentration.
You thought about doing it though. Remember when you're like, how far does the aura go?
Yeah, I know.
Ah.
But I didn't know if I'd lose. I didn't have my anything. How far I could control the celestial
Well,
from.
do you think that
You don't have control over it.
Oh,
You summon it, and it is friendly to you.
I thought it had to be within a certain number of feet from me.
Well, do you think that maybe we healed the tree when
Sorry, Klaus just rolled a death roll of 1. And it was just...
I think no matter what he does, it's just gonna say death.
What the heck?
Well, what are you guys?
True, does it?
What are you guys gonna do?
Well, let's investigate the
I guess you're all in shock.
Portal over here. Did we cure tree? Do you think?
I mean,
At a heavy cost.
Maybe the tree would grant us its godly powers to restore your friend to the life.
we need to take Klaus back to Marlis and see if she can do anything or point us in the right direction of something.
I think you gotta put the ring on him.
Well,
I think that's the trick. It's like...
let's be rational about this.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's like Cinderella's slipper.
He likes the coal, too. He needs it.
I don't know.
Oh, come on! Save your friend! Compadre!
I know what the ring can do. It can't do that.
Oh, but it might have some hidden things that you haven't even discovered yet.
Where's that going? Well, I'm gonna pick up Klaus. And are those beetles up here, or?
2 of them would be.
Okay, I'm gonna start heading over towards one of them.
Was that
body.
was that thing destroyed? You guys destroyed that thing over here, huh?
Yeah,
Cracked
it
it
is.
open.
Can I do some investigation on it to try to determine? Because one of the Aleps came out of there, right? And so, to me, those are like a sign of the corruption that's also happening to the tree. So I want to try to figure out if this is like the source of the corruption or whatever from out the Yggdrasil tree or whatever it is.
How are you doing that?
So I'm just gonna kind of walk over to it and start like looking at it to see if it looks more corrupt here than maybe on the outer edges of the tree limb.
Make a survival check.
Okay. Hmm. 12.
you can see at the bottom of this thing it is dug into the bark, and you can kind of see that there are some, like in the grain of this tree, it is very kind of dark and almost blackish in the general vicinity where it is.
Okay. I personally feel like we have cured the scourge of the tree, and I'm content to leave and go back to see Marlis with Reggie and the corpse. And
He has a name.
Sure.
It's Klaus. It's Klaus.
Well,
I wouldn't be opposed to coming back as teenage Groot. That'd be really cool.
I also would be on board for that.
Oh, no, I don't even have to talk.
So,
Hey, what about one of your helper elves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
It is.
if I'm understanding correctly, you're taking these two beetles, you're flying back to Crux.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You return back to the village of Crux. Which is really just a husk of its former self. Half of the cottage, the very picturesque cottage-like homes are all charred shells of what they once were when you first arrived here. And you can see that it's probably like early evening by the time you get back. Maybe late afternoon. And there are people like outside. There's kind of almost like a tent city that is taken up inside Court Square in the center of town. All the people have made these like kind of relief stations for themselves, and you can see that there are some people kind of out, maybe even like hammering in some nails, trying to rebuild the framing of their houses and whatnot. You even notice out by the blacksmith, he seems to be hammering in some nails, kind of putting up some framing around the four corners of his building, and you see Hannah, the beetle keeper, seems to be there as well, and they're engaging in some kind of conversation.
Maybe Hannah helped. I think she had a crush on Klaus.
Yeah, that's a good idea. She might be even more motivated to help us find someone.
Yeah. Take them, bring beetles back.
Yeah, so kind of rush over to Hannah, try and let her know what's going on, and see if she can point us in the right direction.
So you approach the blacksmith's shop, where now you can kind of get once you get closer, you can see she's operating a bellows, and it's pointed at the forge, the blacksmith's forge, and it is radiating a red glow, and there's heat in the air, and you can see two large eggs that she's placed there, and she's like popping down on this bellows to blow the embers to stir them into incubating these two eggs. And you can hear Vargas kind of barking at her like, "Oh, this is temporary, Hannah. This ain't a zoo, so you can use that just until I can get my shop in operations again. Then you got to find some other solution." And she's going, yeah, well, you weren't known to put too many hours in anyway, so this is getting more use than it ever has. You bum.
Hannah, we're back. There's no time for small talk. Klaus has been decimated, and we need help immediately.
Decimated, you say? Would he fall off his stag beetle?
I'll pick him up and bring his body in front of her.
He looks like a dried raisin.
Yeah, she's like, you're telling me that this body is that man that was with you?
Yes, and we need help now. Do you know where Marlis is, or anybody?
She says, well, Marlis, I would still be, I'm sure, being held at High Point.
To High Point we go. We gotta convince the mayor to let us see her and heal Klaus up here.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's the only way.
All right. So you make your way to the fortress of High Point, built right into the trunk of the tree. You enter into the entrance hall, which consists of the grand staircase that leads up to the double doors that go into the dining area, or the dining hall. You can all make a perception check as you enter.
Can I be controlling Clay No Face right now?
Sure. What is Clay No Face doing?
Man, I picture him just like running around frantically, like Klaus, Klaus, but with no mouth. Like,
Well, he always like kind of creates like a little mouth for himself out of his doughy head.
Yeah.
Klaus is dead. Oh. It's so sad. And he's crying, and it's like wearing away at his little clay face, creating little divots.
That's how my
Okay.
insides feel.
Okay, so Dino and Azad, you guys had some pretty high perception checks. You can kind of hear the sounds of battle up in that dining hall.
Uh-oh.
And then they die
Yeah.
down. It gets quiet.
Oh.
I guess we should head up there. Shall we go quietly? I could
Yes.
cast pass without trace on us, or do you want to just barge in? It's up to you, Reggie.
How long does it take?
Like, you know.
Then do it.
Okay, casting the
Okay.
pass without trace.
Okay. So you quietly and with a careful foot make your way up to the landing, right before the double doors that enter into the dining hall. You hear like heavy breathing, like a man. It sounds like maybe it's Veritas panting.
Is he like on the other side of the table, or?
Yeah, so you open up the doors and kind of peek in,
Yeah.
and you can see he looks bloodied. He's got like blood kind of pouring down his mouth, and he's kind of holding himself up by his great sword, or his bastard sword, and he looks like he's kind of holding himself up just barely by one of the chairs that ring the perimeter of the table.
Is
Anybody else there?
No. Well, there's a couple of bodies laying on the ground of like the city guard.
So, what happened here?
Okay, so you make yourself known.
Yeah.
Okay. He sees you enter, and he just looks like a man that hasn't slept in days, which is probably true. I mean, when you woke up this morning, you got the sense that he stayed up all night with the people, trying to help them put out the remaining fires and get a body count and whatever. And he sees you, and he says, whatever Marlis did with this painting, she's opened up the portal to the other side. Non-stop, those spectral things, they keep coming.
They're coming out of the portal into here.
Yeah, they are. There's too many. We've tried. We've been fighting all morning, all day.
Well, where is Marlis now? Can
Well,
she close it?
No, I don't think so. Whatever she did, she's opened it from the other side. Unless there's some way. She's not learned of portals. Whatever she was instructed to do was not of her doing. The instructions came from something else.
Well, would she be able to help us out with our friend Klaus, who's now dead and needs to be healed? Then maybe we'll go fight the other side of the portal for you.
He says, well, you've spoken to her, you know where she's being held. And he points the way to a door at the head of the table that I think Reggie maybe went through to go talk to Marlis.
Yeah.
So,
before we do that, I'll like kind of whip a level 3 cure wounds on him. If that helps.
on Viridus?
Yeah.
Yeah. You heal him up, and he thanks you. And you see him kind of. He goes for his belt. He's got like a healing potion. He's got a number of empty bottles there as well. And he takes the last one and he says, "Thank you. It is of course, maybe you realize now why it is that I have to be in charge of things here. This portal has long been sealed. I thought that only I had the knowledge of the secrets on how to open it, but now it is wide open. And there are things on the other side, unspeakable things that no mortal should ever have to face."
Do you have any idea how or who could help us close it?
I do not.
You only had knowledge to, how to open it, but not to close it, huh?
This portal, we are the descendants. Everyone who lives here in Crux descended from that world. This portal has not been open in hundreds of years. It was closed many centuries ago.
Well, we have to go find Marlis. Are you good here, and we'll come back?
I will stay here to man the watch over the portal.
Okay. I'm gonna book it to Marlis.
So you make it to kind of the dungeon level of High Point, and she's the only person in a cell. And as you're looking into the small 10 by 10 cell that she's encaged in, she looks like she's just like waking up from a nap, but then her eyes alight with hope, seeing you, and she says, "I feel that something has changed here on the tree. Were you successful?"
Measure of success is subjective.
We took out this big Nightwalker thing. We took out this method that was summoning him. We busted up this thing that looked like a mini version of the Soulmonger. But our dear friend Klaus is in a terrible state, and we need any kind of help that you can provide or point us to bring him back.
What you have done has been... You have saved Yggdrasil with your actions. If I could return to my shrine, I will pray and speak to Yggdrasil directly. And perhaps the tree lives, and it breathes, and it thinks. it is as a god. If I could speak to it, I will appeal to it to bring back its champion. But I do not think I can do so from this confines of this cell.
No, that seems unreasonable. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
let you out. How do we
Absolutely.
open it?
You can see it's just like a pretty simple like iron bar kind of cell,
Oh,
and it's got a
can
lock.
we lift it? Oh, it's got a lock. If only Klaus were here, he could break it. Ugh.
Do we run back up to Veridist for the key?
Yeah, I think so. You're better at convincing people to do stuff. Why don't you ask him for it?
I'll hustle back up and ask Veridist for the key.
He says, "We don't yet know. It hasn't been that long since she went haywire, Reggie. I think it's a little premature to let her out."
I disagree. The opportunity that she has to connect with Yggdrasil, now that it has been restored or begin its healing, the blight is gone. It's time for healing. It's time for Marlis to act and help, and potentially through this she might be able to help close this portal. If she's able to connect with Yggdrasil on another level in a direct way that no one else can do, I think that's the best play right now.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, Fantasy Grounds.
Okay. He says, "Perhaps you are right. Marlis was a high priestess of... spoke to the tree directly. I will give you this key, but I'm going to need your help to deal with whatever it is that has opened up this portal and has taken Kestad. There's something foul afoot."
Absolutely, and that's what we're here to do, but we can't do it without Klaus.
So he reaches for the key and pulls it off the ring, and he hands it to you, and he says, "I hope that there is something that she might do for your friend."
And I'll grab it and let him know he won't regret this, and I will book it back down to open the door.
Okay. So you let Marlis out, and she tells you that she's going to basically go to her shrine and begin to pray. And she can tell that you are all very weary, in need of rest yourselves. And she instructs you to find her in the morning, and she'll talk with you further about what the tree is saying and what her read on things are.
Is there anything we can do in the meantime to help? Should we also be praying to the tree? Should we have Torm help? What else can we do?
She says, "Not many people have lost their faith in the tree, and they don't see it. They see it as a resource. They don't see it as something to be revered and preserved. So, if you can, put your thoughts towards the tree and endeavor to share with others its message and its bounty, that people should come here and worship and rejoice in the things that it provides and give back."
We will do that. I will do that.
And so the three of you, you've got basically accommodations here in High Point yet that you can rest and perhaps even take shifts with Veridis to guard the portal. Klaus, why don't you roll me a D100? or percentile, so you can right click the D10 and do the percentile.
Not seeing any percentile
I could roll it.
on it. Yeah.
So, Reggie, in the morning, or actually all three of you, presumably, what happened with Klaus's corpse?
Reggie was carried it to the high place, and then we let her out. I assume we carried it with us when we followed her back to her
Okay.
thing.
So you bring the body back to her little shrine, which basically consists of a small tree and like its exterior kind of thing, and a couple of benches in front of this kind of golden leaf tree. And then she says that you can all rest and return to High Point and make your way to the dormitory. And as Klaus's body, no one's here to see this, but this is what happens: is she prays and prays all night long to Yggdrasil, and at some point, Klaus's body just turns to dust and kind of blows away. And a flash of light comes right before this tree, and a new form appears. That of a full-blooded elf, but he looks different. He ends up looking much, much different than he once did. One second. He might look something like... This is a female version, but like an Eladrin. He's almost got kind of a blue-tinged hue to his skin. He looks somewhat like he did in life. He was a half-elf, right, Klaus?
Right.
No, he's a full elf, and he's got kind of this cold, blue, clammy skin, and even like his clothing, as it reforms, it's just kind of, it's all like monochromatic, and he's just kind of got a wintry aura or hue around him. Frost clings to his beard.
Frost elf.
And so there will be some statistics changes that'll happen to Klaus. But there's something deeper that perhaps has happened to Klaus in this recall, or this gift that he's been given from Yggdrasil.
I think this means no more Klaus shenanigans. They have to be all like, wise.
He's been sent back like Gandalf was.
Yeah.
You can't die yet. You're not done yet.
Klaus the Blue.
Boy.
There's two paths you could go from here. You could be wise, or you could be emo. It's one of the two.
Yeah, that is a trait of the Winter Eladrin, is that they are very somber. And they are kind of emo, is actually the personality
That's
trait.
how I feel.
There's only so many Blink-182 songs that you sing.
Dysentery Gary.
Should watch Spider-Man 3 and just be Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3.
Hey, that's not bad.
So I think our adventure will pick up probably with you all rejoining Veritas in the morning after a long rest.
Awesome.
Which, let's see, am I able to give
Is
you...
there a long rest button?
There is.
Oh!
Yay!
Because that seems like it worked. If you go in and
Yep.
My spell slot's back.
Yep, looks like all the spell slots are back. Okay,
Health
so
is back. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, that's awesome.
So what do you guys think of the old Fantasy Grounds?
I think it's cool.
I really like it. I think it's really neat how it kind of, especially being able to just drag and drop on the thing, so I don't have to ask you if it hits. You can just see right there. It's nice.
Yeah.
I felt like I was more able to plan my attacks in a more strategic way with having it organized by someone else.
Yeah. I think it's going to be nice, especially after adding a few additional things and, you know, maybe even getting like cure wounds in each level so that when we do a level 2 one, drop that one over. But yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, if there were like spell scaling, that would be a neat feature, but yeah, just popping the cure wounds into each level slot that you could cast it in would work.
So at this adventure, you'll all go to level 15. Reggie's, you're already there, so nothing you have to do. But if you guys want offline, I can show you how to level up your character.
Already on it.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. The next time we will be live with this game would be 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, January 16th. If you are not yet a subscriber, we've got a subscriber game on Friday that I still have one slot for. So if you subscribe to the channel and get into our Discord server, which you can do by hitting the Discord panel below the video feed, you can get we can send you the details on how you could join that game. All right, well, until then, we'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.